Mary, question for you. You had given some pretty profound stats in regards to the economic impact on the community with this. And we've got other disease states that get a lot of attention. I'll call them marquee disease states. And this certainly, I'm in my 59th year, and until I met Dan and started doing a deeper dive into this, I've never realized the state of affairs in regards to this. Why do you think that is? You've studied this very closely over the years.
Let me give you a couple more data points. The costs I mentioned before were just for amputation. If you look at the cost of CLI, and these are all direct costs for prevalent disease, it's between 200 and 300 billion. And that's for 3.8 million people with this disease. Now compare that to diabetes. The direct costs of diabetes are 237 million. So CLI costs as much, if not more, than diabetes. And there are 34 or 36 million people with diabetes. Now, why this is going on, why there is no recognition for this disease has been a mystery. I've been doing this for 20 years, and it's like it's this orphan disease that nobody ever heard of. In the last year, all we ever heard about, whether we wanted to or not, was COVID. And the mortality from PAD, let alone CLI, is many, many times higher than for COVID. And for whatever reason, the press has not picked up on this. We also have, and this has been touched on a little bit, socioeconomic and racial disparities and also sex disparities. For example, being female is a risk factor for above-the-knee amputation. Being Black is a risk factor for amputation. Hispanics, that's a risk factor for amputation. They get more amputations than white counterparts. And Native Americans. I think there's not been a PAD or CLI champion. I always say, well, if you want to solve the disease, what you need to do is, or the lack of awareness problem, we need Oprah. When we either need Oprah or someone like her to start bringing the attention of this disease and the terrible effects of it on people's lives and limbs and costs to the public.
Yeah, I think it's been just in my personal experience, I came into the role at LimFlow with less knowledge than I should have had. And I've always been struck how people ask me what I do, I explain, and the number of people are like, oh yeah, my uncle, my father, my grandmother had an amputation or struggled with that. But no one wants to talk about it, right? It's like people are embarrassed or want to keep it to the side, but it's very real and it's everywhere.